What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Binge Eater Podcast. Your boy, the Souse Bouse, the Donna Drippin', me. I'm here with my baby cousin, Big Lynch, on the ones and twos. Donnie Duckett's still absent for the time being, but that's all right. Got a couple of interesting things we got to talk, and let's just jump into it. This Gatorade commercial is you have, you got to do it on a Peloton, doing some controlled breathing techniques. You got some basic bitch, no offense, doing a jog, and then you got a heavyweight, and she's out here, probably, definitely pushing 200, over 200.
Doing things that I can't do, by the way. So.
The only thing in the videos that I can't do are done by this heavyweight woman.
So,
yeah, she does. She goes. She does this. She balances on her head and does some yoga positions. It's pretty impressive. Maybe it's the beginning of her health journey, or maybe she's just found the balance that she's happy with in her life.
No, she's like a real yoga person.
Oh, is she?
Oh yeah, all these people are someone. They're like some type of person that's a personality. But I may have missed this whole online discourse because I think it really stands out when you see the commercial, because I keep getting fed this commercial watching the NBA playoffs. Like, I'm watching basketball like almost every night, and this commercial comes on all the time, and it's like, it just sticks out. But it's just, I'm like, oh, I better go check this out. I went on YouTube to look at the actual commercial, and the comment section was exactly what I expected. Pretty savage, but
yeah, I don't. It's so funny. I forget when that they make an ad like this and I see it and I have a discussion about it on Twitter. I forget that it's blasted to people 40 times a day.
Yeah, like
no
on
exaggeration.
On linear television.
And it just so happens that I'm going to go and I'm going to make up stuff here. And I'm going to say that for the most part, people that consume linear television are the people that want to see this the least. I'm going to assume that I'm going to make up stuff. I feel like if I had to just guess, I know they have more information than I do, but maybe that's just what normalizing it is like you push it to the people that don't want it. But I wouldn't imagine the sports crew would want to have a woke commercial.
So,
but then again, maybe I'm generalizing here. I want to take that all back. I'm going to take it all back.
I don't even
but I said it, but I'm taking it back.
I don't even think it's that woke. I think the part that stood out to me even more than the obvious one that everyone seems to be getting upset about, which is someone who's who's perceived as out of shape, doing in a Gatorade Fit commercial. I was like, why the fuck do we have Gatorade Fit? What happened to regular Gatorade? Isn't Gatorade meant to be for fit people? I don't understand. All the activities they're doing, like biking and yoga and running or whatever the fuck they're doing.
And what's the formula of Gatorade Fit? Anyways, it's just like Prime, right? It's like Prime.
Essentially, it seems like, yeah, like less sugar. So they just put stevia in it, essentially, and lower carbs. And then I was like, well, isn't just all the things they're doing is what they sold me on Gatorade before. It was like, when I went biking, I was just going to have a regular Gatorade. Maybe a G2, because
for sure that G2.
Purple G2 is the GOAT, in my opinion, from a Gatorade flavor. Out of any flavor. You give me regular Gatorade, full sugar, full, all that. The purple G2 Gatorade, it Gatorade
goes down nice. I've always liked orange. I always thought that yellow Gatorades kind of ended the quench. It was, I thought the yellow one,
the lime one. Now, but wasn't Gatorade meant for those activities? What's going on here? Why are we branding Gatorade Fit?
Well, I just want to say real quick, I actually went on Twitter, and I've been a little unhinged on Twitter these days. I've come to see that people will just there's a lot of discussions going on, and if I'm passing the time, I'll interact with my fellow humans. And I remember this got posted, and Steven Crowder was like, no Gatorade. This is not healthy. And I responded to that, and I was like, oh, listen, it's very impressive.
Oh, you've reacted to this already? You've had a take on this.
On January 1st.
Oh, this is where this is from? So I'm catching this
January 1st.
NBA playoffs is what it took for me to see this commercial, essentially?
Yeah. Yeah, and I was like, are you healthy enough to hold this position that this isn't healthy? And I assume you aren't. I'm not as healthy as she was at the time. Now I think I could do that bullshit she's doing. I think I could.
Also, by the way,
months later.
By the way,
yeah,
I've seen many fat people drink Gatorade, or overweight people. Gatorade's for everyone. Everyone drinks Gatorade. Gatorade's not just for working out. You can call it fit all you want, but what if I had too much to drink the night before, or what if I'm just thirsty from walking.
I just don't think that the number one optimized superhuman top performers are consuming any Gatorade. But that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
I think, anyways, what I said at the end of this whole thing, when someone was like, this isn't healthy, they're fat. Come on, this is nuts. What the fuck? You're woke. All I want to say is let people exercise at their own pace. Don't shame them. It's just simple. People, like I said, guys, if you're listening, just driving your car to the gym and parking in the parking lot, not even walking inside, that's a step. That's a positive step. So let people do it at their own pace. This yoga girl, she's a big girl. I don't know what part of her journey she's in or what's going on. And you could look like that and still be, mentally healthy and not have any disease or anything like that. You could be healthier than a skinny person. Who knows? It's just let them fucking exercise. Shut the fuck up.
So I do think, I do find people I did read a few articles, in my sort of follow up on this, where I'm apparently 6 months late to, talking about oh, you have to be just sort of, you have to show everyone how bad or mean it is to show how fit people working out. I'm like, honestly, I prefer personally to see fit people in my commercials doing things, because then I'm like, oh shit, I want to drink Gatorade, look like that person and go work out now. I don't, that's more inspirational to me, even though may not look like that person. And that's the part where I'm like, stop being so offended. Who cares? Honestly, I don't care either way. This person, cool. It doesn't impact me in any way other than I'll just have regular Gatorade personally, because Gatorade Fit sounds like it sucks. The flavors suck. All of it.
What is it anyways? What's it supposed to do?
It's just meant to be lower calorie. I actually found a PDF document about it all.
I'm not interested.
Me neither. I just think it's funny.
This nonsense. But I agree with you. I said all that stuff and I was like, yeah, their own pace. When I went to go get a trainer at the gym that I'm at, they were like, oh, here are all the people. And I remember going by and I was like, no. And they're like, oh, she's great. And I was like, yeah, no, not for me. But really what I did was, and this was a different time, and I don't know if it would be different right now. I'm just going to say, I don't know. I haven't thought about it. But at the time, and I'm talking I'm 30. I was every woman, instant no. I couldn't imagine myself training with a woman at the time. Not saying it was, and it was just me. That me at the time, I just couldn't imagine getting into it, that I would be receptive to a woman telling me to do it. And that's totally fucked up, dude. But listen, it's okay. Whatever. I could sit here and I'll be like, yeah, maybe it's my issues. Maybe that's some weird shit that we can unpack. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Do we really have the time? Can I just hire a dude and let's keep going? So what I do is I just don't say anything. When I'm there and they're like, hey, we have these trainers that could help you out. Here, Sarah, the trainer. And I'm not like, come on, dude. A woman training me, a man? Come on. I didn't do that either. I didn't do anything. I was just like, no. But in my head, I knew that I didn't want that. And I saw, he pointed me to some guys who were fit, but I couldn't have any muscle bigger than them. Not a single muscle on me could be bigger on me than on them. Because I was, beginner to intermediate lifter at this point. So I chose literally the biggest dude there. The biggest guy.
Makes
the biggest,
sense,
blackest trainer at the gym. And he got me into collecting action figures. That's who introduced me. That's most jacked dude at the gym. Collecting action figures got me into that. We spoke about video games. We connected big time. And then there was this level of, anyways, I don't think I could have found it. I wasn't looking for it with a woman. And
but you also wouldn't pick
not, but,
an out of shape trainer, because I see plenty of out of shape trainers who are kind of just okay shape. I want my trainer to really be about that life. I want them to look sick, like my boy Roy. You know what I mean? I want them to really be out here popping tops, popping their shirt off at any moment. They're not thinking about it. No gut. Just. I want them really kicking ass in the gym. So I'm like, yeah, that's my boy. That's my trainer right there. Everyone, it's just all that's for me visually. I need that to be inspired to go and listen to this person tell me what to do.
Yeah,
If
you
I
don't want to
had
be at the
trainer.
gym also with like a flabby ass bitch of a trainer, and then it's like you're both just like goofball softy boys, like they're bumbling around the gym. It's like, what are you guys doing?
One
It's like,
caveat.
if you're there with a jackass guy, you're like, I'm with him, he's my daddy.
Yeah, you feel stronger even. You might even lift like 10% heavier because they're just pushing to
100%.
that next level. One caveat: if they do look kind of softish, but also kind of big dude, you know, maybe
Yeah, if you know
maybe they're a
cut's
power lifter. You know, they're
if
like
you
a
know the
power
cut,
lifter.
if you know the cut would be crazy.
Yeah, the cut would be crazy, or they're like deadlifting like 600 pounds or something like that,
Mhm.
or like benching 500 pounds or something crazy like that. You know, where
Yeah.
they're not ego lifting; they just lift.
Everything we're doing, sitting here talking about just like the dudes at the gym that we like, you know. Pause. As fully hetero guys, you know,
Pause,
you know us. The truth is, like when I go to the gym, I don't spend time looking at women. But I do think there are beautiful women there, and I sometimes see a woman and I enjoy that moment. This all sounds creepy and weird. Listen, all I'm saying is when I go to the gym, like I'm looking at dudes, and because like I got a pancake ass inherited from my father and his father before him.
True.
Like I like a fat set of cheeks on a man. So like when I see a dude at the gym, like, and he's like, bent over doing those like thigh hammer curl things, those thigh curls, and he's like lying on his tummy. Like, I'm looking, and not even as like a creep. It's not even as a creep. It's just kind of like, let's say you're at the gym and a really good basketball player is there, and you have your basketball, and they're taking 3-point shots. You're watching them do a jump shot. You would watch them. You would stop. Maybe you learn a thing or two. So I'll pause for a second. Pause, and I'll look at a dude's set of cheeks and be like, damn, look at that. Maybe that's me getting older, that I don't look at a woman. I'm like, huh.
Well, you got to be careful these days, because like the amount of exposing that usually typically backfires, but that whole online gym culture discourse is really funny.
Like I'm working out and this dude saw me,
and they like have a camera set up, and it's like, what the fuck? Or do you think, like, what are you doing?
That's why being the life of a fitness influencer is so hard, dude. I feel bad for these people.
Yeah, you do.
One thing about influencers, which is so funny, is like, yeah, for sure, there's way more work than you would ever expect, and it's way more taxing than you would ever expect. But it's also like, I always hate when they talk about how hard the job is, or how like, they got to do this or that to make ends meet. And then you see they're wearing like designer, and they posted pictures today as work, and you're like, okay, let's not, shut the fuck up. You're not like those, my blue collar boys. And let me tell you something, blue collar people are some of the most loyal, honest, hardworking people that I know.
Account got banned, dude.
What happened?
What happened
to his
actually
account?
meant to investigate it. I don't.
Is that on us? That's not on us.
It's not on us. It happened, I think, before. Like we recorded the podcast, and within 3 days before ours came out, his account was just banned completely from TikTok. And I was like, I wonder what happened. He probably got in trouble for reporting.
For what though?
I don't even know how you get banned.
All he was saying was just being like hyped up. He was just like fucking holding it down on the rig.
Yeah, swearing, I guess. I don't even know. Maybe
out of his mind on that fucking
maybe his employer didn't want
Halifax blow.
I don't know. I don't know what gets you banned off. I guess TikTok can be pretty variable. It's like why they ban you. Or maybe people were reporting his account, like other.
Maybe he was just like, his boss was like, can you stop filming fucking TikToks? Like, delete your account. I'm going to fire you, buddy.
Yeah, but you got banned. You got banned, so you did something against terms of service, or someone or got mass reported or something. Maybe some guys weren't appreciating his, I guess, success in coaching and yelling at people on TikTok about. I started thinking about it more, and I was like, what are you inspiring here? Who are you inspiring? You just inspiring the regular person, or someone who's like waking up to go work? Like, I don't think when I used to do that type of work, I didn't need like inspiration from someone yelling at me about like how hard I'm about to go work. I know what I'm about to go do. I know that I was out till 3 a.m. and I got to wake up in 3 hours or 2 hours and get ready to go dig a trench. You know what I mean? Or whatever I was doing at that moment in time, it was never there was nothing that was going to inspire me to do it. I just had to do it. And then I went there and did my job and left.
I guess if you're like, one thing you're not considering is like, you like have this long ass day working on the oil rig. Obviously, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I would never be able to do the job these guys do. Shout out to them. And I don't know anything about them. But imagine you're like a long ass day on the oil rig and you like go back to your bunkers. I don't know. And start just hitting the baggie, cracking open some brewskis.
Drugs aren't allowed on there.
Yeah. So then you do all that and go to bed at like 5. Your alarm goes off at 5:45, and you got to go hit that oil rig again. You got to be pretty pumped that you're going to be cracking open a new bag at work and hitting the baggie again on the oil rig.
It's not allowed.
That's not allowed? What do you work on the oil rig, dude? I don't understand.
You can't, man. You're operating heavy machinery.
Okay, you narc.
Have you ever watched those videos?
I get that, bro.
Have you ever watched
I
videos
know you don't
of them?
operate heavy machinery.
Okay.
I know that.
Yeah.
People do that all the time, though.
I guess.
People do that. Like, dude,
automatic fired if that
you
happens.
and I can't think of any circumstances where you and I, two sane, straight, strong dudes, should not be trusted with heavy machinery at any given time in our life.
Why not?
I could be passed out on the sleep, drugged.
Yeah.
And if you need me to operate a forklift, I should be the one to operate it.
Okay.
And that's just us, bro. We're just some sane, smart, strong dudes.
Okay.
That's what men do.
Okay.
They operate heavy machinery.
Are you saying we can't do that? You and I, we don't have that in the bag.
No, we do. We do.
We do.
And we should get forklift certified.
If called upon.
That's like a sneaky skill to have.
That's the next video. You
getting forklift certified?
Yeah. You're like, I'm done. Epic Mealtime, I'm done. I'm gonna go learn how to work a forklift first.
We talking about I wanted to be a cop even. And then when we found out that we said that, and then I couldn't do it, I'll be a postman. We're swerving on all of that. You're gonna be a forklift operator.
I think you start forklift, then you start becoming like an excavator. You start excavating stuff.
No, that's too crazy.
No, that's sick. Then you can smash things. Then we can go and smash things on video. Oh
no, what I got to do is I got to make I got to make the time to go on Kick every night. I went on Kick last night.
Yeah,
Kick.com. It's like the Twitch for everyone listening. It's like Twitch. Like if you got banned on Twitch or you didn't like how the deal breakdown is on Twitch because it's pretty bad. There's alternate websites and that's cool. Kick.com or like for YouTube, Rumble. It's just alternate websites. It's cool. Like a competition. Competition, it breeds creativity and innovation. We love it. So Kick.com instead of Twitch, you go over there and it's like any person that's ever been banned on Twitch or isn't allowed on Twitch or people that were just like, fuck this scene, they're over there. And not only is it like the Wild West, they do their best. These excellent hosts, they do their best to show you that you're on Kick. Like they make it very clear this ain't fucking Twitch, bro. They say all the words. They say all the words.
Just all the TOS stuff you can't do on Twitch.
I see. Yeah, like I saw that. I'm not going to be out here policing people and joke policing and all that stuff. You guys out there, you have a good time for sure, and whatever. But like, there were some people that they were saying the word, not hard R though, but still the word.
How do they get paid? Because what advertiser would
you sub money?
So it's all sub money. It's all driven by sub money, and it's backed by a huge gambling operation, essentially.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what it's about.
And there's basically no advertiser other than someone who just really doesn't care. Like you didn't get served one ad. Did you get served any ads?
No, I didn't get served any ads.
Okay, interesting.
So I was there. I was on Zerka's watching John Zerka. He looked like he was just partying with this other dude and two girls. But the thing is, like, their asses were on camera in bikinis, which, yeah, you see it on Twitch. Yeah, that happens when they do the hot tub streams. But, like, this guy was, like, grabbing cheek and jiggling, middle finger getting very close to that moment on the butt cheek where the skin changes to, like, again, I don't want to be, like, finger on the, but where the skin changes from that type of skin to that type of skin.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, cheek skin to like whole skin. It's like right there, and he's like jiggling it, and I was just like, oh, that's like a whole other layer here. I was like, I am like, man, I'm getting old. I don't want to like fucking watch this guy jiggle.
Yeah, like
ass. He was like way too fired up too. He was like, "Oh, bro, we're fucking tonight."
Yeah. Does it like add? Like, it doesn't really add to the content, I guess. But
100% it does. I think it does.
it does.
Because I'm not watching this for the same reason that I think other people are watching it. I was watching it because I was like, dude, I can't believe all the stuff that's being said about Jews right now. It was like, it was like that. Because also like Aiden was streaming there too. And what they were doing is they were kind of like popping into each other's streams and just going on Discords and like kind of rotating around. It was just like weird. Because they're like all just, you know.
Did you watch this on your phone or on a TV?
No, I was set on my computer here. I set on my computer. I was like, let's see what's up with Kick. And I pulled it up on like all these screens. I had Aiden Ross there and I had John Zerka here.
Was it smooth? Like the whole.
It was running smooth, perfectly smooth. And then you have like Sneeko calling in, and I click on Ice Poseidon and he's live in like Cambodia or something, but he's sleeping, and he's got like two just pure Ice Poseidon guys. Like they're talking and you know they don't know each other and he's like sleeping, and it's just the whole thing was so bonkers. I kind of liked the energy. I would say that the place was not that hype, but then again, I like you've been with me before. I'll be like, bro, we gotta go see this party. Going here, like, yo, this is the worst party, and I'm like, I know, isn't it great? Isn't this shit wild? And you're like, no, it's the worst, and I'm like, I know, dude. We got the best of the bad, the worst. Like I'm an extreme guy like that.
You are. I mean,
like if you can't get the best, my brother, you better get the worst.
So, are you saying you're going to join Kick?
I did join, and I didn't really. I just watched them and I commented on everything I was looking at, and I was just like, oh, that's pretty crazy. I was trying to get like a little microcosm grasp of the culture of Kick, and it was just kind of like.
Bunch of Jew hating comments of that.
Yeah, like the teacher's gone. It was like there's like the teacher's gone this week.
Yeah.
And not only they get a supply teacher, like a substitute teacher, this is that one that's just like doesn't give a fuck. And everyone was just going wild.
Unfortunately, I have too many other places to be watching content to be getting caught up in. They haven't compelled me to go there yet. Usually that something has to happen that's compelling to me. I'm like, I need to go watch this content on this new app, you know, even though they apparently are handing out these absolute life-changing bags that I wonder if it's true or not, but the numbers seem pretty wild if it's true.
Yeah, we should hit them up for a deal. Be like, don't you want us there? Like everyone's like saying the N-word. Like everyone's saying the N-word. Don't you want us? Like we're there. We're like chill too. We're not gonna say that though, and I know that's okay. Well, not for us. We don't think it's okay. But we're gonna be there too. We're just gonna like do some crazy shit. But we're not gonna be homophobic or transphobic or racist.
I don't know how well your content's
low-key sexist though. Apparently, if it comes down to choosing a trainer, like someone that's gonna help me work out.
Well, we could try this new sauce mixer. That could be our whole content there. Since you are the formerly, or maybe you still are the sauce boss. You use those soda machines, those machines where you go and you can mix.
Freestyle Coke machine, by the way. Yeah. Freestyle Coke machine. The big red one, it's got the Coke button. You choose like Coke or Coke Zero or Diet Coke or Barks Zero or Fanta or whatever. And then you can choose like strawberry.
Coke, my go-to, automatic every time.
Cherry Coke Zero for me, yeah.
Love that machine. That's an A+ machine for me personally. I enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
This one, I'm not really sure if this has as much utility to me personally, but I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring the Heinz remix machine. And it's interesting.
No, it's stupid as hell though. Guys at home, picture this. Picture the Coke freestyle machine where you could choose all the sodas and you could choose like Diet Coke or Coke Zero or Sprite Zero, and then you can make it like vanilla or orange or whatever. This is like that, except it's ketchup and like mustard and jalapeno dip, and then you can add flavors like smoky or chipotle or mango. And I just listen. At the end of the day, I know I'm the sauce boss. I'm pretty straightforward when it comes to sauces. There are a couple of acceptable sauces for certain items, and I'm not going to be able to take your silly machine and add like this mango enhancement and all of a sudden experience some new shit. How long's that mango condiment been sitting in this fucking robot for? You got a robot here in this Wendy's, in this bait Wendy's, sitting here in this box, this hot box. I'm not doing it. You know, for what? To mix my mayo and ketchup? Thanks, guys. I got it. I'd rather my condiments be in a package. I want to see them with my eye. You want to make this machine? Make it clear. I want to see the bags in there with all the condiments. I want to see what it looks like, how they're stored. I want to see how mucky it is. You know it's ugly in there.
Yeah, it's I don't know. So yeah, you're right. It's pretty sucky.
And I'll fuck with any sauce for sure. I would. And like I like to dabble and get crazy with it. Ketchup? No, never. If someone's like, yo, you can make your ketchup, I'm like, no, bro, ketchup's ketchup. Ketchup is exactly what it is. Anything else I do in the sauce game, it's not ketchup. Ketchup is here, and that's that. If you want to get crazy, let's do mustard seeds, spicy mustard.
I bet you Donnie would love this machine.
Let's do like some type of mayo, you know, a garlic mayo or something like that.
Yeah.
Donnie would like this machine for his pizza, bro.
Yeah, he'd be putting his pizza slice directly underneath it and going with some fucking weird ass ketchup flavor.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It actually improves his take, to be honest with you. It improves his whole like ketchup on pizza. It's always needs to be ketchup with a hint of whatever extra flavor, you know, smoky flavor, whatever you want to add to it. It would make more sense to me almost at that point. It's not really ketchup at that point. It's like ketchup, some other flavor, you know. But
yeah,
shout out to Donnie. Donnie's,
you know who Pearly Things is? Pearl.
I am, yeah.
Right.
You
know,
I do. Yes.
Yeah. I guess so. Guys at home. Pearl is this. She's this 26-year-old female YouTuber. She's got like over 1 million subscribers. She was on TikTok a bunch. She got banned. She's kind of like she's like 7'1". Not only could she beat my ass at Creator Clash, she could dunk on me. And I don't doubt that. She's kind of always been online being like, Andrew Tate's right. Everything he's saying is right.
Yeah,
and all you women, you need to shut the fuck up and you need to sit down. And the only time I want you to not sit down is if your husband needs a blowjob. And if he doesn't need a blowjob, get out of his face because he is allowed to cheat on you. I know that sounds outlandish, but like in one way or another, like she's kind of like she's kind of borderline said stuff like that. Kind of not too, but like anyways.
No, like you're definitely on track.
Yeah, it is. So she tweeted today, actually, I thought it was so funny because it blew my mind. Just so you guys know, she's 26 years old. She's been on this quest of like finding a high value man. And sometimes like some woman who is 28 and isn't married is like, hey, you know, I think this or that. And she's all like, bitch, you're not married. Why the fuck would I listen to you? You're an old raggedy bitch. You fucked up. No one wants to marry you. She'll say stuff like that. Not exactly as hilariously presented as I did. But she's not about, a woman posting a bikini picture. I bet she would say that would lower your value if you posted a picture of yourself on the beach in your bikini or something stupid like that. She just loves what those guys say. All those those dudes that are like the guys that wrote the book, Women Deserve Less. Like she's like, yeah, they do. Women deserve less. And listen, I'm not here being like, I'm just here being like, bro, everyone, you want to fucking chill out, guys? Want to be like human beings? But anyways, all this to say, here's a tweet that she put out. She said, it should be equally frowned upon for a woman to deny sex to her husband as it is for a man to step out on a relationship. By the way, step out on a relationship. But that means like go cheat, right?
Yeah.
You step out on a relationship.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means. Yes.
Interesting term. I've been known to step out on.
I'm
Yeah. So listen, you're a married man.
Mhm.
It should be equally frowned upon for a woman to deny sex as it is for her husband to go and cheat. Like she's like, oh, if you deny your husband sex, he's gonna go cheat. He's allowed.
I've come across this particular creator. There's a ton of clips online, but I saw one where sort of all the grifting is being exposed, or sort of the contrary things that she's been saying, but how she actually acts in her real life is not. You know, they're two different things, and I can kind of see through that for a lot of this sort of, I don't know how else to describe this sort of misogynistic stuff that's being portrayed online, because she's saying exactly what an amount of like what some men online want to hear. You know, like hearing it from her, it brings even more weight and sort of like, yeah, see, she knows, she understands what we're going through, or like what we really need to get to the bottom of, you know. And so I thought, and my first experience, I didn't even know who she was. What I really first time realized is when I didn't realize she like dated Angry Reactions. Like that's so random.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Like I just came across.
What was this, an ABBA and Preach video that we saw? Pearly things.
Some other creator did like a whole exposed video where basically exposed that she's not in a relationship. You know.
Brittany Venti.
Yeah,
yeah.
That she's not in a relationship.
One of the first streamers I literally ever watched, and this is like pre-TikTok. This person, I watched her and I was like, we're watching an artist right now. Like the girl I was with, she was like, this girl's such a dumb bitch. And I'm like, no, stop. We're watching an artist. We're watching an artist perform. We're not watching what you think we're watching. But anyway, she she does this whole breakdown of just Pearly Things. And basically Pearly Things was like, yeah, you got to get a high value man, blah, blah, blah. She ended up dating some guy who had some clout, but he was apparently homeless. So he stayed at her house for like a month. And she just
there's so much.
For him, yeah.
She did like a full blown like hit him up takedown. I didn't see what the sort of aftermath of all that was, because I try and stay away from this type of content. I did see you sort of interacting with this person.
Just Pearly Things. I brought up, she said the thing where she's like, oh yeah, if you deny your husband sex, he should be allowed to cheat on you. I had responded to that. Like, I didn't respond, but I quote tweeted it. I was like, I don't get how she hasn't been picked yet. That's a fire deal. To all my single dudes out there, Pearl said that, like, she thinks she, like, which I'm assuming that this is how she abides by, that, like, if she's your wife and she ever is like, no, I'm not in the mood, like, you got carte blanche. That's a sick deal.
But it doesn't go the other way. Like, if you're like, nah, if you're the dude, you're like, nah, sorry.
No, she didn't say that. She didn't say that. I'm going to assume, like, that's not what it's about. But actually, like, below this in the responses, our girl Melanie Mack, remember, we saw her. Yeah,
I remember Melanie.
She was like, I actually agree with this, assuming you mean as a pattern and not just once in a while if she's not feeling well. This applies to both genders, though. Withholding is cruel. Just much to think upon. Much to think upon. I look at stuff and I'm like, people got their things, like, whatever. Yeah. Whatever.
I don't know. It's very hard. I'm in a very well-adjusted normal relationship.
If your wife was like, yo, I promise I'm always going to blow you, and if I ever don't blow you, you can go cheat on me. That's you. That's your relationship. That's fine. And if you were like, no, I don't want to do that. I'd rather wait until you're in the mood. I also like, that's cool. I wouldn't be like, bro, what are you doing? Are you crazy? That's the sickest thing I ever heard in my life, bro.
I just think
literally. That's the sickest thing I ever heard in my life. How has no one picked her yet? I swear, I thought I should go back in the game just to link up and hit her up. I was like, hey, sorry, I gotta ask something. You want to know what someone said? I'm gonna actually frame this. This is gonna kill you. You're gonna think this is so funny, because it's me and Julie laughed way too hard at this. But I was responding to this and I was like, yeah, blah blah blah, and someone was like, yeah, dumbass, you're not a high value man. And someone was like, excuse me, Harley is a 6'5" jacked millionaire. He is a I was with Julie. I was like, close your eyes. Picture a 6'5" jacked millionaire. Open your eyes. Was it this? Was it this? But then for a second there, I was like, yo, 6'5" jacked millionaire.
You're like, yo, it's over. Sorry, Julie. I got to stop this whole relationship now.
Like, I'm going to stop talking about her for a second. I'm going to make it a hypothetical person because the whole thing's weird if it's about her like that. But to what she said as a deal, like with your wife, like, hey, like, you know, hey, you can go cheat on me if I ever say no. Like, you don't know me. I set records annually. Like, I'm ready to go just to get to that point. If I'm walking out of the house and it's the things hanging on a thread, like, I'm like, we did it. We got to go squeeze one off. She said no tonight. Like, I don't know how many times you think, like, we got, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many times, like, but like, at what point are you gonna be like, hey, no, I was down and I said yes every single time to my husband, but after the 10th time, I was like, hey, I'm also saying no, but you also don't get to cheat. It's time to give that dick a rest. Like, you know what I mean?
This is why it's all like this is my take on all this sort of type of content. And it always has an air of fucking bullshit to me because they're like not really, I don't ever believe it because it sounds like they've never been in a relationship. You know what I mean? This is like the select few people who can live that life. But if you've been in a real relationship, you like there's emotions involved. There's so many factors that go into that to like, they're just saying things to me. It's all grift. It's just to make money and to like win points on the internet. And I just never believe these people believe what they're saying ever. I think it's all bullshit. That's really my take on it. And it's just pure entertainment. Is it dangerous? I mean, I don't know. That's like, I guess the question that people have is like, is it a dangerous take to be putting this type of stuff out there? Ultimately, to me, it's just online entertainment to laugh at when people get caught and, you know, for being fucking liars or not really being about that life. And I think if you broke up, if you left your current relationship to go be in a relationship with that person, that wouldn't be how it would play out for you. Honestly, like you might get knocked out because you said she's 7'1". You might get stomped up before you have a chance to even go and get that one in. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I think is the real outcome. And that unfortunately it's just bullshit. So that utopia you're thinking that this person is spouting, it just doesn't exist for most people. Because the truth is, to be in a successful, normal relationship, you don't always get what you want, bro, unfortunately. And that's part of it. And if you don't want that, then you should probably just be single and do your thing, you know? Not worry about it. Or find the 0.001% of people who would be cool with all that type of lifestyle. Basically being subservient completely to your man and living what some would call a, you know, not a fair, equal relationship.
I wish I got off on being subservient.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'd be sick.
Yeah.
And like you found someone who's just like a bouse lady. That'd be pretty hype.
Yeah, that's true. My concern,
you go to like grocery shopping and you like sit in the shopping cart.
Yeah, on a leash.
Yeah, you have
like
that
a shock
leash
collar on. Yeah,
yeah.
And you're walking by and your significant other's just going to the bathroom or different aisles of different dudes, and you're just stuck there in the cart.
No, that's a whole other thing. None of that.
No, why not?
No, none of that. Because that's not what it's about right now. This goes deeper than that.
Oh, it goes deeper. Okay, how?
Yeah, this is like subservient, but like it is, you still like, you know, you have your individual, your master, and your dom and your sub relationship here, I guess, you know. But you listen. Yeah,
yeah. You know,
I feel like that's a whole other kink there. That's a whole other one.
I feel, you know, I feel like we should be coming with some some hotter takes. Like, if we want to really win the points, we got to go.
But what you're talking about, like, is funny because for me to be there, I need to be the flip. I don't want to be there as subservient, and she's doing that. That seems disrespectful. In that case, I would rather be the dominant one, and I'd be like, listen, we're going to go to Costco, and you've been going up and down, sucking on a stranger dicks at Costco. Are you going to do that? You're bad, eh? You're bad. That guy has to do that. The subservient one that's like, no more dicks in the fucking aisles, please. That I don't like that nightmare universe. No, I don't like that reality.
To have like a body cam on that only you can watch the feed while you sit in your cart.
Okay, well, maybe you're selling it a bit better now.
You like that? You like that?
I can fuck with this now.
Yeah, be a fire OnlyFans account for you. But I want to ask something. You just got back from the UK, and you were there live for what I would say was one of the most controversial, like big time influencer boxing knockouts and events. And I gotta ask you. So I just saw today they finally came to a decision as to what they're going to do about it. So just so I can say, Harley was out in the UK to see primarily Boogie versus Winks fight, which was, obviously very, very awesome. But he also went to go see the rest of the card, which was KSI versus Joe Fournier, which is sort of the main event, and there's other stuff down there. I think Deji was fighting as well.
Yeah, I saw the KSI. Yes, I went down to see the KSI fight, KSI versus Joe Fournier, and it was just interesting, like for many reasons. But the fight itself you didn't really know how it was going, if KSI was doing well or not, if he was winning. Like, it looked like he took some punches, but nothing seemed hard there on the floor, like, of the arena, physically being there. Things just look different. Your angle is restricted in many ways, and the speed is just different than it is on TV.
And we were texting
slower actually.
We were texting a lot, like, back and forth, because I was watching the feed, like the actual TV feed, because I couldn't make it out to the UK. Major regrets, though. Sounds like you had a good time. So you're saying you couldn't really gather what it was in time, but you didn't see that it was at all. And then what we're talking about is that the knockout was an actual elbow to the face. And this was like, this is a DQ automatically. You should be disqualified. You can't use your elbow, even if it's not on purpose, to knock someone out. It's not MMA. This is boxing.
If you were there watching this, it's like they're just boxing, and like, then KSI hits him with one and hits him with another one right away, and it was a fucking clean ass knockout. And it was actually a sick knockout. And it's like, okay, I guess we really should never have doubted him, even when it was kind of playing out in a who knows how this will go type beat. And then KSI, they come into the ring and they're like, wow, this is so crazy. And as they're talking, the replay plays on the screen. And in the replay, we all now discover, while KSI's in the ring, being like, oh, I fucking knocked him out, breath. It plays on the screen that it was his forearm, his elbow, for sure. And that's on screen, and everyone in the crowd is like, it's really interesting when you hear, like,
you felt that in the arena.
You hear hear it like 6,000 people, like that exact
gas.
Noise.
Yeah.
So that happened, but he couldn't see it, and
he dropped the people's elbow.
Everyone's
right?
tripping.
With the people's elbow. Yeah. Okay.
And everyone's tripping about it, and then the guy in the ring with the microphone is like, so what would you say to Joe Fournier fans who think that you may have hit him with an elbow? Now, what's funny about this is, like, just pause for a second. This is Misfits 07, where the main event is KSI boxing Joe Fournier, and KSI just knocked out Joe Fournier with an elbow. And we are in the ring. No one has had time to do anything. No one spoke to Joe Fournier's fans or anything. But this guy with the microphone here, like, don't forget, this is KSI's event. You've never seen something before where the boxer, like, is also, like, entirely the promotion. Like, at any moment, he could fire anyone at any piece of this puzzle. Like, he can remove anyone. So, like, if you're the in-ring announcer, even, like, you're going to watch how you, so you're like, what would you say to Joe Fournier fans who said, and it's like, Joe Fournier fans, bro, you didn't talk to any Joe Fournier fans. You saw the same thing we all saw. He totally hit him with a punch that isn't a punch, but I don't know the rules of boxing here. I don't know what happens, but, like, the ref calls it if he doesn't see it. I saw Joe Fournier was like, it was right in front of the ref. The ref didn't, but technically, the ref's also on the fucking payroll. You hire your refs. If someone was a bad ref, you don't hire him again. So if it looked clean, why would the ref put his ass on the line when it's already been called? Everything's happening. Let the commission deal with it, or however that appeal goes in boxing. But that's just fucked up. It was just a messy scenario.
To be fair, it was bang bang. It did look like a knockout, even from the TV, from the angle on the TV. It looked like a knockout. The reaction was big, but immediately after seeing the replay, you're like, oh damn! And it was called a knockout because he gave him the count. He didn't get back up. He hit him clean with that elbow.
Yeah, you couldn't let him fight after that because he actually got knocked out. So you couldn't. Yeah. He couldn't fight. That wasn't going to happen.
So
Yeah.
he didn't get I think they finally announced that it's, he's not going to get that win. But they're going to keep it moving. I saw, the whole Tommy Fury promo, and it seems like it's all roads are leading to him fighting Jake eventually. But as someone who's a sort of, an influencer boxer now, I couldn't help but compare, sort of looking at Creator Clash, looking at this, and obviously we're somewhat biased because we've been involved in the Creator Clash stuff, but the energy seems very different at the zone boxing. Like, I saw a scuffle breakout. Like, I just can't imagine any, like, two people's camps at Creator Clash like breaking out into a scuffle. It's like us getting into a scuffle with I don't know, fucking some other fighters camps. Like, I guess John Morrison's team probably would have fucked us up. He had about 20 wrestlers there, but someone else. Like, it's so weird to see that type of energy. It is more boxing energy, I would say, than Creator Clash, and I think this is where the big difference lies.
I mean, by having fights in the crowd?
Yeah, I just seen like the more aggressive vibe to it. Even though everyone's boxing at Creator Clash, I feel like there's no threat of people's camps getting into fights.
Well, what I
that's
thought
kind of
was
part of
funny-
the fight game a little bit, right?
What I thought was funny was like kind of like I was looking at like the people behind Misfits, and they were like, yo, it was so crazy, like the fights in the crowd and the whatever. And I was like, fights in the crowd. I think I maybe even tweeted, I was going crazy on Twitter again. I was like, fights in the crowd aren't like a positive. And someone was like, I think they're exciting. And I was like, hold up. Me too. But I'm 6'5" and I love chaos. So yeah, me too. But there's 900 13-year-olds wearing Gucci here. They shouldn't have fights happening right next to them. There's a lot there's a lot of kids that like that vibe too.
No, but that is the fight game, and that's the part that is very different. Because if you watch UFC, I mean, think about when Connor, threw that chair to the bus, broke that. It's an aggressive sport. I mean, you're going in there to fight the other person. It's a very serious thing. And so it is what I would imagine if we ever got involved in a more, say, a Misfits or something more on that end of the things, how different the vibe would be. I almost would like to do it just to see what it's like how different it really is than going to Craig. Everyone, it really is like VidCon. And then everyone fights at the end. That really is the best way to describe it. And they do a great job. And I have to say, like, I think the production and the whole event is amazing. Like, they do a great job on that end, but the sort of energy about it feels so different. So when are you gonna start challenging guys, nonstop? Like,
that's been happening.
So for myself, I can go there and experience this. So I can go and check the vibe, and you can do the fighting. How about that?
I already got opponents that have been in the discussions, been going around. Just like last time I was preparing to box John, like people that maybe if you looked at, you'd be like, I don't know about this, but truth be told, like, yeah, I could beat all the people that I spoke to or spoke about, or I've been considering.
Interesting.
And actually just here, Wings just tweeted, he said, who would you like to see me box in my weight class, 350 plus? Like,
are you gonna fight Wings?
No, I literally don't want to kill someone.
Damn, that's
when I actually did that when I prayed, like when I would like pray, like, because I actually did like something like boxing does that. That's not something that I do. I don't pray, but with boxing, like, I will say something that can only be construed as praying. And I was every single time being like, with Aaron also, I was like, please, I don't want anyone to get hurt. I don't want to hurt anyone. And I was like, I'll be fine. But I didn't want someone to be hurt.
That's not that's not what boxers would be saying. It's like, I'm out there to win and hurt people.
No, and I remember after the fight, Keemstar was like, bro, you're not a boxer. And I was like, I know. I'm a YouTuber, bro. Never forget that.
Oh, shit.
That's what's going on here. And I remember, yeah.
No, I was going to ask you, how, like, did the Boogie and Wings fight? And just, I mean, I imagine if you're listening, you know what that is, but these are two other sort of extremely overweight YouTube, I guess you call them legends, guys that have been around in the game for a long time boxing, and I think everyone was shocked that it actually went down, including myself.
Yeah.
How'd you find the fight? Was it one of the most entertaining of the night for you? And these are all on YouTube, actually. I think
It was entertaining. It was amazing because like Chase Demore from Perfect Match is taping up Boogie's shorts that keep falling. Wings came to the ring rapping while he ring walked. Wings looked like such a pimp. He was like actually so fucking studly out there. It was wild. I couldn't believe how he looked. And I knew he was going to be punching hard. I saw his punches versus Boogie's like just on the bag and stuff. And I was like, oh, Wings looks like he's punching harder. And Woody got punching. He did like what I did like my first time sparring. I was like, this guy punched me in the face. I'm a fucking YouTuber. What's he thinking? I don't think he was ready for that necessarily.
Yeah.
Right.
The one thing I think about, and back to sort of the elbow and stuff, and I have to admit, these guys are probably training, and I'm sure KSI is training like crazy. He's been doing these fights for a few years now. But it does feel like there's, and this makes sense, a lot of people getting involved in these boxing events have been training for 5 months, maybe a year, slowly building their way up. If they continue, like, it just leads to more opportunity for something weird to happen in the ring. I mean, the case of what you fell out of the ring, which was weird, I guess elbows happen, it does happen. But the technique is not there. Obviously.
No, but also Chase also
Chase,
punching the guy when he's on the ground.
It's just things are bound to happen that are like more dangerous or just not normal. And I've been wanting to talk to your coach about this because you just don't get normal boxing. You watch boxing and there's a lot of strategy involved. There's a lot of like thinking about how you're going to approach it and what your opponent's going to do. And I find a lot of these influencer matches end up being like throwing really wild punches that are not necessarily.
Even the KSI fight didn't feel particularly like a boxing match I've ever seen.
Even though
I've been watching a lot of boxing lately. No one looked like how that match looked like. No one that I watched that's a boxer.
So you're training hard though. You're out here. You said you're.
I actually haven't been with Jesse boxing. I was in London and still eating well. Still going to the gym. Man, still eating bison meat and rice.
We got to go back to London, man. I want to go. I wish we got to film a whole series out there.
Well, I wanted to go there. No, that's not happening yet. But no, I do want to go back to London. It looks chill. I want to go to Amsterdam. I've never been to Amsterdam. That's kind of a fuck up.
Dude, me neither.
Yeah, that's a fuck up.
Okay, support the podcast so we can go do a live show out in Amsterdam together in person.
Anyone's listening? I mean, listen, guys, I'm probably going to be heading down to Texas, and I'm going to have to cruise by McAllen, Texas, which is the fattest city in the USA. And I'm going to have to cruise by there just because it is the fattest city in the USA. So there could be some fun stuff to do. But if you live somewhere and you think something's fun and you think it's interesting and most importantly, you're down to pay my flight ticket and for the cameraman, we're going to come down. We're down for some adventures.
I have a question for you. Do you ever watch this specific type of content online where it's negotiations? Like the biggest one is watch negotiations. People going to buy watches and sell watches in the Diamond District or in New York. You never got lost on this part of the algorithm.
No.
So I've been super caught up, and I got served the funniest version of this because the watch one is the most popular. Like you'd be shocked. Watch content fucking kills on everywhere. People love it. And there's this whole world where people walk around selling fucking watches, being middleman and like live filming their negotiations with each other, trying to sell like flip watches to each other. It's actually very addicting to watch. No pun intended, but I got caught in this next one. I'm like, this is super for like the few get into this one. It's a guy live negotiating buying a private jet. And I was dying. I was like, this is the funniest fucking video to be making. He's like, and I remember like, yeah, he's right, man. Honestly, that's how I would do it too. That $25 million jet, like they're like going through the budget and talking about it. I'm like, this is so fucking hilarious that this exists. But it really is just negotiating. It's its own videos that exist now. Like anything. Like you could be selling cheeseburgers in the park, and if we just film that as like every day you're negotiating your cheeseburgers that you're selling, we'd fucking kill it, dude. Honestly, that's a great
You got to remember though, when you pursue a goal, you have to think about the best case scenario, which could also sometimes be the worst case scenario. Like if you became a Twitch streamer, the best case scenario is the worst case scenario. You're a famous Twitch streamer now. You are bound to this chair. So you're saying in this scenario we pivot, and I'm still fucking dealing with cheeseburgers in the park.
Yeah,
I think I would have liked to have pivoted to not negotiating cheeseburgers.
But don't you want to find out that like people want to know like, oh, today I actually had this double cheeseburger. I got cheeseburgers.
I hate negotiating. I think negotiations.
No wonder this hasn't found you. The algorithm hasn't found you this on this.
No, yeah, I don't like negotiations. I got like negotiations are it's just a silly game, and I think one day it's going to be an art of the past.
Really?
Because yeah,
everything's gonna be commoditized, and there'll be
just you have an answer, you have a number.
Sure.
This person has a number.
Sure.
And that's it. Like there is a number, and a lot more times you would like to know that number than not know the number. And I just would appreciate if there was no games. I think all the games that are attached to negotiations are very like a thing of the past. It's like a game, because the problem with negotiations is you come across a lot of people who are traditional that think that if you accept a deal, you are a bitch for having been negotiated down, when in reality, like that really is the that is for an old school traditional Hollywood shark type person who is playing more of an ego type thing than they are with the actual project at hand. And I think I've seen a lot of creative ideas get bottlenecked at the negotiation process. And it was always just an egotistical game of fucking jerk off, because it's like, just tell us the fucking number. We have a number and let's go. But now the first number you say, you know the rules of negotiate. The first number is going to be and like that's where it's
but
like,
you're discounting like one very important aspect to why part of the negotiation goes on, because you're negating maybe this person's business unit, and they have certain targets they got to hit. And so every contract they negotiate sort of reaches to this goal that they have to answer to some boss or some public market or whatever it may be. I actually think negotiating is one of those things that's very important for people to understand, and will continue for a long time.
I think people will.
People are always negotiate. People are scared. They don't know.
No, people always negotiate boundaries, but like a whole game of attaching the money to it also, and that game,
I think people are bad.
There's a lot of ego attached to that. That ruins good things.
But like, how many people? Okay, but people with people just like working regular jobs, right? You negotiate with your employer, let's say. People. It's one of those things. I think most people have a hard time, and maybe this is specifically a Canadian thing. I know a lot of people who have a hard time asking. It's if you're not negotiating, and most people aren't in like traditional negotiations every single day, closing deals, wheeling and dealing, and all that shit, where they're used to the back and forth. I find a lot of people are concerned about what someone will think about them if they ask for something, or maybe will be rude. And this might be a Canadian thing. Maybe Americans don't give a shit. But I know a few people in my life who have come across this, and I'm always like, oh, it is interesting. It's hard to fight that, because the truth is, in a negotiation, I think it comes down more to how you present yourself. If you're just like a decent person, and you're not asking for a completely outlandish thing where you're like, say you're a terrible employee and you're like, actually, I need a 50% pay raise right now, and you're bringing exactly like no reasoning to the table, then you
carry muscles, glasses.
You deserve to. I do think that people have a hard time and need to learn that it's okay to ask for things. Doesn't mean you're going to get it, but to establish where you are at. If you don't ask, if you don't ask, you don't get. And I think a lot of people don't know that. And it doesn't mean that your relationship has to be acrimonious after that. Doesn't mean, and if someone treats you like that after that, if they're like, oh,
major red flag,
huge red flag if they treat you poorly after something like that, because like, it's okay to disagree. It's okay to ask for something and maybe you don't get it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just normal. I do think people have a hard time, especially if you're conscientious about yourself and what you say. pushing over and be willing to maybe ask for something that makes you feel a little uncomfortable. And I'm here to say it's okay. You should do that, and just operate with some decency towards that other person. And like you're, not a piece of shit, which I think you're thinking more probably Hollywood style.
I'm thinking more like when I'm in Jamaica and I'm on vacation with my mom and dad.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm 18 and I want to go buy a pipe from that guy over there who called himself Dr. Feelgood. True story. Yeah. And
you're hooking up.
They give me a $5 bill. And she's like, this is it. He's going to try. Don't take anything, whatever, So it should be $3. The best you bring back $1. Bring back $1. And I go over and I'm like, can I get a pipe, please? And the guy's like, $10. I'm like, I only have $5. And he's like, nothing in your pocket? And I look in my pocket and I pull out 2 quarters. And he's like, fine, $5.50. He gives me $5.50 and I take the wooden pipe. I walk back and my dad's like, where's the $1? And I'm like, no $1. In fact, I gave him 50 cents that Adam. He's like, what did I say? $5? And not only not come back with $1, you go and you actually you're a sucker. And I'm like, no, bitch, you're a sucker. Because I'm about to go get fucking high on the beach and you're caught up about 2 quarters. Get out my way, bitch. I'm gonna knock your ass out right now, dog. You made me this size. I'll beat your ass down, Dad, right here on the beach in Jamaica.
Shout out to your dad.
He's sick. Yeah, that'd be sick. Creator Clash 3, I'm boxing my dad, beach of Jamaica. But that was like, it was like that type of shit where I was like, shut up, bro. Like, I don't fucking care about this. Sometimes it's just like, you're really caught up about what it's going to be, who's getting a quarter or who's getting $1 or how much the wood costs, when all it is like, hey, bro, it doesn't matter because we're going to get high on the beach now. So it's fine. Don't worry about that quarter. Good discussions today. There was a lot. I have so much that I could say about Pearl. And you know what? I got a ton of videos. I got a ton of energy in me to react to some videos. I liked watching the 1 or 2 videos we watched today, Lynch. Guys, hit us up with some in the comment section. Hit us up on the subreddit. We still want that content. And we have some guests coming on. Yeah, we are about to pass a very important threshold in the podcast where we're going to start booking guests. And that's happening. And I'm excited for that to go down. So make sure you leave a like, leave a rating, and share it. Share this with your friends.